how did we build our businesses through community and like the success that you and I have both had fairly exponentially in our careers, entering into an industry, quote unquote, later in life, right? Like we were not
That's
20 years
very
old.
highly
Compa-
impacted.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of real estate agents. That's what, if you don't already know, Colleen and I sell houses. We actually sell ourselves
we
and we
sell
help
ourselves.
people buy and sell their own houses. We
Correct.
just sell ourselves
Yes.
with these dynamic personalities and these
That's right.
great looks.
Yes, exactly. So, but part of what we did, both of us, like very early on in our careers, was we created groups. And we created groups in which we be in community with other women either in real estate or other women in business. And why we did that was one, because that's where we felt like, and don't let me speak for you, Cheryl, but that's where a place that felt comfortable for me, to be very honest. And two, a place where I felt like I could not only receive, but I could give a lot.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Medeiros. And I'm Colleen Hungerford. And this is We're Doing This Right, right? A podcast for the whole woman, mind, body, soul, and business. It's humor infused, as real as it gets, inspiring, and you'll walk away with real usable tools for life and business. If you love what you're hearing, please share with a friend, subscribe so you'll never miss an episode, and rate and review whenever you listen. So find your earbuds, lace up your walking shoes, or cozy up with a beverage of your choice. It's time to dig in.
Right. And I remember very, very early on when I was on the first team I was on, I was a brand new agent and I was like, they were like, what's your niche? And you're supposed to like pick a niche, right? And I was like, I'd really like to target women-owned businesses. And I got very quickly got told that's not a niche. And I was like, what do you mean that's not a niche? That is like a very specific niche. Like those are very women who own businesses is a very specific niche, right? If you think about who that is, those are women who have a lot of shit on their plate. They are driven, they need help. They usually can make decisions pretty quickly. They are
They
on a
have the
path to
means,
they have the
generally.
means, they're on a path to success typically. Who else would I want to work with? Those are my gals. That's my crew. That's who I want to be with. And so then, fast forward what 2 years later, Cheryl had this really great idea and she was like, do you want to do this with me? And I said, yeah. So go ahead, Cheryl. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about the birth of Inspire Her Collective
Yeah.
because it has been like one of the biggest joys of my life and has been quite lucrative and beneficial to my business on top of that.
Hmm.
And let me start by saying, like, while I assumed business would come because I was targeting ambitious women to join my group, it certainly is not the reason. So
Sure.
when I started in real estate, I was coming off a soul sucking career where I had no community. I was isolated. It was the only, like, I had a protected territory, which meant I was the only person in like this 300-mile square and was alone all the time. And that's not my personality. Like, I'm so outgoing. I love people. I'm an extrovert. I get energy from being with other people. And that was just so far from my life. Okay. So come off of that, roll into real estate. I find this post on the Moms of Compass group that Colleen put out. Colleen and Meg, shout out to Meg, and I'm going to
Shout out
say
to Meg.
Boston, but I know
She's in
she's in Philly.
Philly. She's in Philly.
She's in
Yeah.
Philly. Shout out to Meg. So they post this thing that they're wanting to start this like women's mastermind group, networking group where we're going to meet once a week and it's all moms. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's my jam. So I joined this group. It grows. It becomes like one of the greatest joys of my life. I'm surrounded by super ambitious, eager, high achieving women that are so smart and like have mentored me in my business. I was able to gain so much freaking knowledge from these women as I started my career. I
Yeah.
attribute a lot of my success to just being around people smarter than me and better than
Yeah.
me and with more experience than me. So that was like highlight of my year, my first year in real estate. Then I was part of a bunco group and we met in person once a month and these women became like some of my closest friends and they gave me so much energy, and it was so fun, and it was great to have like this protected time once a month where we got to be together and spend time and be in community and connection with people. And like, this is who then I would lean on when something got hard or I needed someone to pick up my kids. Like, it was just so nice to like have these people in my life, but it wasn't business related, which was okay.
Right.
Not everything has to be business related, but I'm a workaholic and I'm obsessed with my business, and I think it's
Hmm.
so fun and I enjoy doing it so much. And some of my friends locally are also super ambitious, super successful women that are so smart. And I see them at drop off for like 5 minutes. And it's like, we've got
Right.
our kids, or I see them at sports and the kids are always around and we're always parenting. And like, we don't have carved out dedicated time where I could be like, hey, how's it going in your business? What are you doing? What are you learning? What's new? And I was like, what if we combined Bunko and my mom collective and we made it like a BNI. So I don't know if is that what we call it? It's a BNI. It's business
Yeah.
networking. I can't remember what the I
What's
is,
the
but it's
I?
I don't know,
I'll look
because
it up.
also
Keep going. I'll look
BNI
it
is
up.
so stuffy. So the idea with BNI is okay. So then all these at the same time, all these like real estate networking groups were coming up locally
Oh,
in.
it turns out the I is Business Network International. So it's technically like a
Okay.
big international group. Sorry, go on.
Okay. So also at the same time locally there was this push of like a lot of like women in real estate groups. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's great, but if it's like, and all of them met in the evening, which my kids are young and we're doing sports and like homework and bedtime by 7:30, like I can't do an evening thing. That doesn't
Right.
work for me. And to be quite honest with you, it was great for me to be in the same room with these real estate agents all over the country that aren't my direct competition, if you will, but
Right.
like
Right.
not super beneficial for my business to be spending my very limited amount of time getting a babysitter, putting a hardship on my family to go rub elbows with agents that I could see at Broker Caravan that aren't going to bring me any
Right.
business.
Right.
It's not going to, while I might learn something, I'm learning that in my mom collective. I don't need that locally. So what I decided was, if it doesn't exist, build it. And so I remember sitting on my couch this one year. It was a year Rachel and I were still in partnership, and
Hmm.
we closed like 3 deals the week of Thanksgiving and then nothing again until Easter. So I ended up with like all this time to kind of build and dream and work hard in my business, or on my business, if you will. So I remember sitting on the couch the week between Christmas and New Year's, and I'm like, we gotta like, I gotta build my own. I gotta build it. I need to build it. What I want doesn't exist. So what I wanted was a group of ambitious women. I didn't specifically say business owners for my chapter, but like high achieving executives,
Hmm.
leaders in industry,
Leaders. Yeah.
thought leaders, like smart women, all from different industries, so that no one was direct competition, because I do feel like that's an important aspect from a confidentiality, from a growth. Like, I don't want to sit at the table and have this brilliant idea that like the agent that I'm competing against all the time has. And I know that that restaurant owner doesn't want the neighboring restaurant getting her same promotional ideas that we're going to talk about. And like, so I
Right.
know it wasn't limited to me, that like we don't want to sit at the table with our competition necessarily for what we were doing here, but I wanted a space where we could get together once or twice a month and like have room to discuss business and personal growth and professional growth, and be together in a safe environment with other like-minded women, and just grow together and build community and build connection. And what I knew would come out of it was, okay, this was the other piece. When I was first in real estate, I was also the local childcare coordinator for the au pair company that I was using for
Oh,
my
right. Oh
childcare.
my God. Yes.
Yeah, this was the other piece of it. So it became like, mom Facebook groups are like where everybody goes for everything. And
Right.
so it became this thing where in these Facebook groups, when anybody was looking for childcare, people would put my name in. All these
Right.
people everywhere, people that had au pairs, people that didn't have au pairs, just people that knew me. Like, I was the number one name that was being put in all these Facebook groups. When someone was like, I'm looking for childcare, they'd say, oh, you should connect with Cheryl Medeiros to see if she can help you with an au pair. See if an au
Right.
pair is the
Right.
right fit for you. And it was like, kind of like all these soldiers just out marching for me and my
That's
business. And
right.
it was amazing. And I'm thinking, how can I get that in real estate? I want soldiers out there because, listen, people buy and sell on average once every 7 years. So
Right.
my sphere which is large because I'm a social person, but like even then, all those people know 15 other agents. And so like I
Right.
can't rely on just my sphere of people who know, like, and trust me to buy from me. I will not make enough money for my business to succeed. And
Right.
so I needed other soldiers. I needed access to other networks, if you
Networks.
will.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I needed my circle to start overlapping with other circles, other circles, other circles. And so and like, how do I get access to that? Well, if I build this group of like 12 women and they get to spend time with me and learn from me and see how good I am at something not real estate related at all, like just watch
Right.
at my systems, watch the way I communicate, watch the way my energy is in a room, watch how like fiercely I fight for things that are important to me. And then, of course, those people will very naturally tell their friends, oh, you need an agent. Real estate comes up in a room. They're going to say my name. I'm going
Sure.
to now
Yeah.
be that person on the Facebook groups, at the parties, at the events with high achieving women,
Right.
ambitious women, women that are going to be people that buy rental properties. These are going to be
Right.
people that are not just buying a primary residence once. They're always looking for the next thing they can do to elevate themselves. And they're smart. I really, really wanted to be in a room with people smarter than me. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so then this model was formed where, we got people from all different industries. We meet once a month in person. We have guidance. And so the other thing about my Bunko group was once a year you host, but
Hmm.
11 times out of the year, you just simply show up. And I thought
Right.
that was an important model because it makes it only hard once. It's only a hard, heavy lift one time. And
Right.
11 other
Right.
times, you simply show up as yourself and you just get to enjoy. And so I really liked that idea. So my goal was 12 women in each group. And so Colleen and I tried it first. And
Hmm.
we learned quickly that what was more important was quality over quantity. So not just
Correct.
accepting just anybody
Correct.
to fill a seat. Like truly we want dynamic, successful, smart,
Yeah.
ambitious. Like there's a type of person we're looking for.
Yeah.
And that has been better. So there was years where I had 6, there was years where I have 8. This year we're at 11. So we're almost
Yeah.
to our total. And everybody takes turn hosting. And what that means is like you facilitate, you have the topic. And now we're not requiring everybody to like bring a topic
Right.
because we found that to be very intimidating for some
For
members.
some people, that was challenging. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
it,
it was
and it,
challenging.
we never wanted them to feel like they were wanted to leave because they were nervous about presenting or something
Right,
like that or
right.
whatever.
So we
So,
now have like a catalog, if you will, of topics and like PowerPoints to like lead a conversation, just a round table conversation, so
yeah.
that if you don't have somebody that wants to lead, like no problem, we've got plenty of topics that you can
Right.
just run without that. But anyhow, it has turned out to be the highlight of my life. I am now someone that people tell other ambitious women about, like, oh, you should talk to Cheryl about her Inspire Her group. This year, I did very little recruiting for members. Members just came to me, which was
That's so
so
great.
rewarding. And to your
Yeah.
point, tell what happened this month. Like this, you
Yeah.
had the experience where like your baby starts to walk. Like tell me
Yeah.
what happened with
Yeah.
your first meeting of the year.
So, for us, it was like you said, like our first year, we were just getting people, right? We wanted to start, we just got people and
Bodies. Yep.
bodies in the shop, right? And that was great. And we met really a lovely women. And there are a lot of women who from that first year are still in the group today. And there are some that have, you know, it wasn't the right fit for them. But as we continue to grow, like we are truly a collective. And, when you first get started, Cheryl and I are both leaders of our group, and every city has a leader, and that's important because there has to be like a point person. But ultimately, it really is about the collective. And so this year we have a bunch of new members who were basically referrals. Like people were like, hey, I think my friend would really benefit from this group, or hey, I really would like to invite this other person. And while we've thrown it out to the public, I think for us, especially in indie, this kind of referral situation where we're inviting other girlfriends or inviting other business owners that we know into the group has been huge for us and really increased the quality and the topics of our conversations. So this year we had our very first meeting in January, and because I had all this bullshit happen at the beginning of the year, I double booked myself. And I was like, shit, what do I do? And I had this really important client meeting, major brand partnership meeting that I needed to be at. And it was also happened to be at the exact same time as our very first Inspire Her meeting of the year. And I was like, shit, what do I do? But I just decided like this is a collective. It's not about me, right? Like it's not about me. And I just said to the group, I said, hey, really sorry. I double booked. I really, just please go ahead. We had a place, we had everything was already set up. And at first there was kind of just this like, well, should we reschedule? And I was like, nah, man, by the time we reschedule, we're going to be at our February meeting. Like everybody's calendar is crazy. I said, just go ahead. It's going to be fine. And it was like a proud mama moment, right? Because they all like the meeting still happened. We did vision boards for our January meeting, which was really cool and really powerful. And one of the women, Maddie, led it and hosted it in her space and brought a lot of the supplies, whatever. And we had new members there, and I was bummed I didn't get to meet them, but they all were welcomed really graciously, and I got great feedback from them. And I got all these pictures that came back and of the great time that everybody was having, and I was just so proud that it like continued past me, right? That I didn't, while I wanted to be there, I didn't have to be the person constantly facilitating. And it's really interesting as I'm saying this earlier this year. Was reading like my girlfriends and I our birthday horoscopes on ChatGPT, which is a fun exercise if anybody wants to do it. Um, and one of the words for me this year was legacy. And one of the things that I was talking about with my girlfriends as we were just hanging out one day, um, is that like sometimes it's hard to be a part of all of these different groups, right? And I've created a lot of groups and I'm doing a lot of things, right? But one of the things my friend said, she was like, your word is legacy, which means that like whatever you're creating is lasting and you're creating such a impact that it's lasting beyond you. And this was a really interesting aspect of that where like I definitely am all in. I'm not going anywhere as far as my group goes, but like that it could be and exist and really be a collective it's just a testament to the like systems and community that we've built with Inspire Her and how it starts with one person kind of lighting the spark, but then it is the entire group like keeping that aflame, if we want to keep with that metaphor. And I just was just so proud. Like I was just like, oh my God, I'm so proud. And there's lots of successes that we can talk about as far as groups going, like you said, like I started Compass Mom Collective, God, almost 4 years ago. And we very quickly decided we were not like a quote unquote referral based group. We do referrals, but that was not our main focus. But I still have had millions of dollars worth of sales from referrals from that group, right? And Inspire Her, I've had many sales and referrals and connections and whatever just from this group as well. And it's even just such a small group, right? Like there were, some years where there's like six of us or like, and sometimes only two or three people show up, and there's sometimes that urge to like, well, if it's only two of us we should just cancel. But I've had some of the most powerful Inspire Her meetings where it's just me and one other lady, and you really get to know that person, you get to understand what they're doing, you get to understand how to help them, and you get this really deep like one-on-one connection. But it's been, I mean, just so wonderful. And, sometimes it can feel like, oh, like another thing to do or another. But once you're in there and once you're doing it and once you're with these women who want to support you and see you win and you want to see them win and support them, like I think it is just so fulfilling on so many different levels. And we have a new woman in our group. And it was so funny because like I emailed her, she filled out all the application, she did all this stuff. She came to the first meeting, I wasn't there, and then I hosted this panel and this is the other really cool thing. I hosted this panel, it was the day after the Inspire Her group. I almost all the women came to that panel because they were so excited to see what I do and this other thing, right? And to be all there together and they all sat together and they all took pictures and it was really cute. But she came up to me afterwards and she's like, so like, tell me like what is Inspire Her? I'm like, you're already in the group.
Yeah.
But but I was just like, it's this really amazing community of women who are in some form of business or entrepreneurship. And we talk about business, but we also just talk about life and like all the things that I might go through as a business owner in real estate have some sort of impact and relation and takeaway for somebody who owns, like a counseling business, or somebody who owns, like one of our women is a stylist, right? Like, while we're all in these different industries, all the skills that we have and all of the things that we need to do in order to run a business are applicable to all these other fields. And I think that you were kind of talking about like how you don't want it to just be a group of the people in your same field for various reasons. But I also think it's so important because you get different perspective. Like if you're just always with realtors, there is, like a talk track and there's only so much information that everybody just always talks about in real estate, right? But if you get somebody from a totally different industry who's doing something that you can then apply to your business, like that differentiates you from everybody else. And I think those are some of the big takeaways, and those are some of the nice wins when you're having these, when you're coming together in these types of meetings.
And like, not only like the differences in industries are good eye openers, but like this person over here that's like a chief financial officer has this very specific expertise that I
Correct.
don't have. And I get to learn from them. And they get to learn like my marketing skills like
Hmm.
maybe is not super obvious to them, but it's like my very natural superpower. And that when we talk about like leading the meetings, what I try and tell my group is like, you have a zone of genius.
Yeah.
You maybe don't realize it's a zone of genius because it comes so easy to you, but I am certain you have something to teach this group. And so I really do encourage people to like look inside. And I've had like we have a group text going and someone's like, oh, I don't know what to do about this, or I don't know what to lead about. And then over time, like I'll start to hear like, oh, this is your superpower, this is the thing you'd be really good at teaching. And then I just shoot into their a side text. It's like, did you consider this?
Yeah.
Like, and I tell people too, like, you could lead on something you want to learn about. You don't even have to be an expert
Right.
at it yet, but
And
like, are you
yeah.
curious about something? Bring that topic to the table and let's round table it. And like, let's do some Google and AI searches and see like, what can we all learn together about this thing?
Yeah,
And
we had that in one of ours, and it was one of the best sessions we had. And it was my friend Shelby did a whole thing on imposter syndrome. And she
mm,
was like, I didn't really know what to talk about, but I thought this would be good. And then she like, because loves research, she delved into this and then like came prepared with like handouts and notes and things and like, and it was so good. And she was the one who was like, I literally have nothing to tell anybody. And I was like,
right.
what? It was
Oh,
so
one of our
great.
meetings. One of the women she's basically like a chemist for wineries. And so like
Oh
when they
yeah.
need to make a modification to wine because it's doing this or they want it to do this, like she sells the products, but she's a chemist to be able to know what to do. Anyhow, she came and taught us all how to wine taste. It was a small group. That day I think it was like 5 of us. And it was like she brought all this wine and we just set up and like learned how to
Love
wine taste. And
that.
by the end of it, we're like, this is a business. You need to be doing this for your business. Cause she's in a room with all these
Yes.
entrepreneurs that can't help but try and like turn everything into
Turn
a
every
profit.
turn everything into a business. Don't
Yeah.
come to me
So
unless you want to make a business because I will turn whatever you do into a business.
yeah,
That's
I'll
just
show you
how
how
we
to make
roll.
money doing that.
Yeah.
So on that topic, let's talk
Yeah.
about how we've decided to monetize or sell, if you will,
Yeah.
Inspire Her, because we went round and round about this over the last year. Like Colleen and I have poured ourselves into some things, and like as we're experimenting, we're not monetizing them yet. We kind of want to get it right.
Right.
And last year, we're round and round and round about how we're going to do it, and I just like
Yep.
I couldn't I I can't charge local members. I just can't. Like
Yep.
I feel that I want what's the word? Like I want open exposure. I don't want
You
like
want it to be
I don't want
accessible to
I
anybody
want
in
yeah,
any point of
accessibility.
their business. Yep.
And because it's a collective, it felt very much like, well, I'm going to charge you, but I'm also going to make you lead a meeting. Like that just feels a little bit weird. I couldn't
Yeah.
get over this hump. But what we ended up doing is we've created a model where the leader of Inspire Her so we have chapters right now. We have a chapter in SLO, Indy, Denver, and Charleston, and we are wanting to grow that this year. So what we're doing is
Hmm.
we're selling the program, the framework, to other realtors to
Yep.
bring this to your community, because we
Yeah.
know that real estate agents are always like us and looking for ways to expand our networks. And
Hmm.
so we are selling the program to agents, and what we sell you is like the framework, how to do this, how to make this work in your area, but then additionally like a monthly coaching call, if you will, but a coaching
Hmm.
community call with the rest of the leaders, where we're going to troubleshoot, we're going to work through whatever your issues you may be having launching your business. We're going to talk through different
Right.
topic ideas. We're going to talk through also just like things related to our business as specifically agents,
Hmm.
and kind of show how we've used community and connection as a way to like exponentially grow our businesses very quickly.
Yeah. And I think we kind of went all around about like, how do we sell this? Like, we spend so much time doing this. How do we make it a business? Right. Because we love doing it. We have been doing it for free for fairly long time now. But if we really want this to expand, like, how do we really expand this and grow this into something that is really meaningful, not only for our community members, but for us and the time that we're putting into it? And we had a call with, was it Danielle Wilkie once? And she was like, you have to niche down on who you're selling to, because we were
Hmm.
selling to everybody, right? We were trying to sell to everybody. And we all know this. Still, we know it, but we fall into these traps, right? Like, when you sell to everybody, you sell to no one. It's like the analogy of, like, if everybody at the pool is watching your kid, nobody's watching your kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we really decided that, like, this is where we have the biggest community. This is where we can relate the most to these leaders and teach them to do what we've done, and now done it in a couple different ways, right? Like, with the experience that we have from CMC, with the experience that we have from Inspire Her, with the experience that we have from other groups. And we've literally done it lots of different ways now, and have kind of honed down to what we feel is the most effective for right now, and it could continue to change. But I think when we talk about, like, just selling to realtors, like, we felt like those were the people who would be able to take this concept and really put it into place, right? Lots of other business owners could do this, but this was the niche where we felt comfortable, where we knew we could market it, where we knew we could, like, relate to the people and help in those ways. That's kind of what we're doing this year in 2026, Inspire Her. And we're really, really excited about this model. I think it makes it really impactful for the members, and I think it makes it really impactful for the leaders. So if anybody who is listening is interested in becoming a leader for their city, and it is specific,
protected
right? Protected.
protected territory, if you will, to go back to my
Yes.
marketing rep days.
Yes.
But like,
Yes. Right.
we're not going to sell, if you're in Philly, we're not selling to downtown Philly,
Correct.
where we want specific leaders for that region. And
Market
like
specific. Yeah.
market specific, if one of you feel like you can't take it off on your own, and there's two of you that want to do it, or you're on a team, like, by all means reach out and we can talk about that. But let's kind of talk about the success of it, because
Yeah.
I have had meaningful success. And one, in that I am a person, like I said, the referrals that came in and you said for your group this year has been impactful. I have women repeating year after year, like, don't want to live without this group anymore. And
Right.
so they're repeating, because we asked for a year-long commitment from the in-person members, just because, we need some consistency and what's the word?
Continuity.
There it is. That's the one. And so we asked for like a commitment of, you come to 10 of 12 for the year. It's a collective, so your attendance is important, blah, 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 all those things. But women are like, I'm doing this again. Like, I'm signing up again. But
Right.
the other
Right.
thing is, like, guys, I did over $1 million in volume last year from one, and I'm looking at close to 4 to 5 million of volume this
Yeah.
next year with one of the members. And that's not even referrals. Today I was at school drop off, and a woman that I was talking to, I know just kind of peripherally from drop off, says, oh my gosh, I was talking to one of the women in your Inspire Her group this year, and she had worked with me previously. She said you were her realtor, and like, wow, everybody should have a realtor like you. It sounds like you did an amazing job. And I'm like, that was what I wanted. I wanted
Right.
commercials playing when I'm not even there. I
Yeah.
want walking billboards all over talking about what a fantastic job I do. And
Yep.
after 3 years now running the Inspire Her group, like it's happening
Yeah.
and it's
I mean,
fantastic.
so you have that amazing example. I have a woman in my group who joined. She's a in her 20s, late 20s, and I've done one, two, I think three deals, like almost $1 million worth of transactions with her, um, buying investment properties. And then her husband actually joined my team. So then I actually got an agent out of that, which then compounds to additional transactions that are beneficial for all of us. And then she, like continued to spotlight us. And we were, there was this huge article written about Inspire Her in More Magazine. We got to be on her podcast. Like the amount of exposure and that's one member of this group, right?
Hmm.
And I think that is very impactful too, because like that's the power of one person. Imagine like, when we get everybody's group gets up and running, 11 other members, like these women are out there and they're supporting you and they're saying your name in other rooms. They're looking for you for advice. They're looking for you for mentorship, and you become the person, right? Like you become the one. And then you are I'm getting referrals off people I invited to the group that are brand new, haven't even, they've come to one meeting, you know?
Hmm.
So now, can it take time? Yeah, it can take time. It can. And is it going to happen immediately? Maybe, maybe not, right? But I think the idea is this is something that you're investing in, that you're investing into not only your own business and your own professional development and growth, but also your community and like the other women around you. And I think that's where, you have to be willing and understand and see the value in what that can create, right? So,
And I think that there are discouraging moments. Like I'm sure the day that there was like you and one other member there, it initially felt discouraging, but I do think that is the benefit of having then the collective of leaders that meets monthly and being able to like troubleshoot and or like
yeah,
validate and say it's okay that it was just one other person and like
yes,
remind you like look how much you got out of that
so
day or
much.
like how do we learn from that and work together and like that's that benefit of that coaching, if you will, the leadership coaching that will be a
Right.
part of it as well.
And the structure, like we've really honed in on the structure of this now. And, to start, at least on my end, it was like, well, like, what do you guys want to do? And what day do you want to come? We did a lot of surveys. We did a lot of this. We did a lot of that. And the more we've honed in on this structure, the more successful the groups are, right? And the more you
Hmm.
stick to that structure and that schedule,
Guidance, yeah.
it just works. Like
Hmm.
it just works. I don't
You
know
get to
what
learn
else to
from
say.
our trial and errors that
We've
we've
done
done.
years now of like bullshit, okay? So you don't have to do it anymore. Like I think that's the coolest part about like jumping in now, because you're still early, but we've done all the bullshit to start, right? Like we've done it. We've
Hmm.
done it every different way. We've done it so many different ways now. And I feel like where we're at right now is just really concise, really impactful, really clear, and I'm excited.
Like
I'm
you just get
excited.
to rip it off and duplicate it and make it work in your market, which is so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And why not? Like it's
Yeah,
just like why not? I don't know.
yeah. So we
That's how I
invite
feel.
you to reach out if you're interested
Hmm.
in learning more. We're doing discovery calls in small groups of agents that
Yep.
are interested. And like above all, it's been just a highlight of my life because it's fun and
Hmm.
it's enjoyable and I get to
Yep.
be around people. And like one of my favorite things to do is achieve goals, whether they're mine or somebody else's. It doesn't really matter. And like
Yes.
I've gotten to be a part of so much of that in this. I love it so much.
Okay, so if you guys are interested, please email us at doingthisrightpod@gmail.com, and you can put inspire her in the subject line, or you can DM us on our Instagram, which is doing this right pod. And if you're not following us, please follow us and
Yeah.
like and subscribe. And we're also on YouTube. But yeah, we would love to have you. We would love, so the cities again that we already have are Denver, Indianapolis, San Luis Obispo,
Oh,
and Charleston.
Charleston. Hmm.
So we are well open to tons more cities.
Sounds like we might have a Boise chapter launching really
Oh,
soon.
might have a
And didn't we
Boise
have a gal? We have a gal from Philly is interested as well.
and
So we might
Raleigh,
be.
maybe. I thought we had a Raleigh
Oh
one
yeah,
also,
rally. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but none of those are confirmed yet. So if you're in those cities,
Reach out.
let us know.
All right, guys. Well, keep doing it right
Yep.
and find your herd, and we'll
I'm gonna make us these shirts with cows on them or something. Goats, I guess.
goats. Goats.
Goats.
Goats are in the herd. All right, gals. Keep doing it right. Get your
Bye.
gallbladder checked. Bye.
Yeah, for real.
That's a wrap. Thank you for joining us on this journey of laughter, life, and growth. And remember, you're not alone on this path to success. We're right here with you every step of the way. Please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's conversation, we'd be thrilled if you would leave us a review on your favorite platform. Your feedback means the world to us. And don't forget to share this podcast with your friends, family, and anyone who could use a good laugh and some practical insight into navigating the challenges and triumphs of our minds, body, soul, and business.
Remember, we're doing this right.